Lenny deserves to be on the wall of honor as a player. Stop.
He had that patented move where he would go from right to left with that little half hook. Nobody could stop it. They knew it was coming. Nobody could stop it.
He was such a good player. People don't realize how good of a player Lenny was, but he was an incredible point guard in the NBA, and he's in the Hall of Fame because of it.
I mean, think about it. He's a Hall of Famer on the basketball side as well as the coaching side. So you can't have anyone better suited to coach your basketball team, especially if you're a point guard like Mark Price and like Kevin Johnson, like Terrell Brandon. I mean, they got to learn their craft from one of the best to ever do it on both sides of the floors.
I know for me personally, being a point guard, getting a chance to play under a man like Lenny Wilkens was a blessing for me in my career to learn under a great coach and player that he was. I learned so much, and we had similar personalities, and we really meshed well together, and it was an honor and a privilege to play for Lenny.
Lenny was a great basketball player, and of course being a member of the top 50, top 75 speaks for itself, and he's very much a student of the game and always willing to learn as a player and even as a young coach.
He took what was here and really molded it into a really good basketball team. They played the game the right way. They moved the ball, they moved bodies, they played defense, they did things the way they were supposed to be done. And he added such a level of professionalism to the team when he was the head coach.
Every time we drew up an out-of-bounds play, or Lenny drew up an out-of-bounds play during a timeout, it worked every time. It was unbelievable. I never played for a coach or was in a situation where, because he was so smart and he knew the game, he knew the nuances, he knew the flow, and he knew what was going to happen.
We are always going to get a good shot. I mean, you can't always make them, but we are going to get a wide open look when he designs something up. And I think he already, I think he already had those plays ready, and I think they changed each game, and he was always just prepared, always calm, never showed a panic mode at any time. And that's what I loved about him. He always stayed even keel, and just the best coach I've ever been around.
Lenny Wilkens is the epitome of class, dignity. He's the epitome of someone who is a reserved individual that when they speak, it carries a tremendous amount of weight. Not overly flamboyant, not yelling, screaming, cursing at people. When he talked to us, we listened.
And Lenny's first thing he said to me is, I think you need to keep working on learning to get your shot off quicker. And it took me a little bit back at first because he kind of went at my strength, but the more I thought about it, and obviously I'm not the biggest guy in the world, and having to play at the NBA level, the size and strength and speed that you're playing against, he was right, and I continued to do that and continued to work on getting my shot off quicker, and it obviously helped me as my career unfolded.
He respected the players. That was one of the greatest attributes, I think, is that he had a great deal of respect for the players, and the players knew that. He had a great relationship with them, and he was an inspiration to the players. The players, we didn't have to worry about them coming out each night playing, because they came out to play for Lenny, play for the organization, and play for the city. They represented their city well, and I think Lenny was a great leader in fostering that.
Once I met him and started talking with him and being around him, he kind of ruined every coach that I was ever around anymore, because he's just what I expect from everybody, because he's such a great coach. And man, I loved him and loved everything about playing for him, and his knowledge is off the chart. So, if I could be a coach, I would want to be identical just the way he coached.
He garnered your respect because he talked to you like a professional, and he expected you to do your job. Now, some will say, well, maybe, as a coach, especially a professional coach, you got to push buttons and you got to motivate people like that. That's not the way he did it. He expected you to do your job. And I'm going to tell you, if you listened to Lenny Wilkens and paid attention to what he was teaching, you became a better player. Not only did you become a better player, you became a better person from being around Lenny Wilkens.